chowder, as Ann says, but not the, seafood chowder. This actually chowder is filled with bacon and potatoes and all sorts of good stuff. So we're going to actually start by cooking some bacon. And we splurged and bought some really nice smoked bacon. This happens to be Nueske's bacon, which we love, smoked right in Wittenberg, and picked it up right at Festival Foods. They talk about this stuff all over the country. I've been to New York, I've been to LA, and you'll see on the menu BLT made with Wisconsin Nueske's bacon, and I always get a smile because I've actually been to the plant, and they're so proud that the gourmet chefs around the world are actually using their bacon in recipes and then actually, making note to it on menus, which is very, very cool. So I'm just going to chunk this up a little bit and start cooking that in a skillet. Touring that plant smelled so good. Wow, smells just like this bacon. So we're going to let that do its thing just a little bit. I'm going to cut up some pepper. We've got some red pepper and some green pepper. Now what I like about this recipe is we're going to actually do this corn chowder in your slow cooker, which is my new BFF. Get a slow cooker, find a slow cooker. You can do so much more in it than just pot roasts. I'm starting to do lots of different soup recipes, and I'm coming up with new different soup recipes all the time. I'm starting to even do breakfast in the slow cooker. There's a ton of different things you can do in your slow cooker. You can throw it all in there quick before you head to work, and then you come home and dinner's done. And I think we're all so busy these days, so take advantage of that slow cooker. I have friends all the time that say, I don't know how you have time to do dinner. How do you, get it all figured out? Well, trust me, I don't have it all figured out, but I have come to really rely on my slow cooker, and it just is a huge help, huge time saver. Okay, so I'm going to dice up some red pepper and some green pepper. It's going to give this chowder some great flavor and also some nice color. Does anything smell better than bacon cooking?
Nope.
I know.
Bacon and onion.
Maybe bacon and onion. Okay, well good, because we're going to do some onion too. So we have a kind of a routine in our house. Whenever we get sweet corn, I make the kids go shuck it. I say, all right, get out to the porch or the deck or whatever and go shuck the corn, because that's what my grandmother used to always make me and my sister shuck the corn. So I'm keeping that tradition alive, basically making them do it. So that's what we do in my house, and I have all sorts of pictures of the kids shucking corn, and they always grumble a little bit, but they seem to have fun out there while they're doing it. All right. Oh, that bacon smells amazing. Now, there's not a lot of drippings with this bacon, but some of the drippings we're actually going to cook some onion in that, so we're almost there. I'm going to get this bacon out of here in just a minute. Let it cook just for another minute or so. And if you have any good recipes with sweet corn, boy, I'd love to know about them. So we're always looking for your best recipes, so please email me those recipes. This freezer corn recipe is just a real winner, so stick around for that. Because I think that sometime in the middle of winter is when you're really, really craving those tastes of summer. And, just to have a little bit of taste of heaven in your freezer, just to eat by itself or throw into some soups or stews or make this corn chowder in winter, boy, would that be nice. Okay. So I'm going to get this bacon onto a plate, and I'm going to actually start in a bowl cooking my onion in the drippings. Now, if you have a lot of drippings, you don't need to use all of the drippings. In this case, this bacon is very lean, so there's not a whole ton of drippings. May even need to add a little butter or olive oil, but I'm going to get some onion in here. And yeah, I think I'm going to add a little. Just depends on how much fat your bacon is releasing. And in this case, there wasn't a lot of it. So I need to make a roux. I want that to be able to kind of tighten the soup. I'll add a little bit of butter. Just a little bit of butter. Speaking of butter, gotta have butter in my sweet corn. Lots of it. Roll it in butter. You know, we actually take like sticks of butter and put them on a plate, and then everybody can just roll it in the butter. Yeah, is that how you do it too? You know, just taking a little pat of this on the corn, that's not the same. You gotta like slather it. But anyway, we are gonna take you to a dairy that's known for their butter, family-run place, and they actually make some flavored butters too, which are amazing. So I just want my onion and my butter to melt and get a little soft. We'll season it with a little bit of salt and pepper. Now this recipe calls for about 3 to 4 cups of fresh corn off the cob, which is, you know, of course, the best. But if you want to cheat a little bit and save some time, you can certainly go ahead and use frozen corn. So if you're making this and it's not in season, just go ahead and use the frozen corn, or use the freezer corn that we're going to show you how to make in just a little bit. But boy, nothing better than that fresh corn off the cob. All right, so our onion and our bacon drippings and that little bit of butter that I needed to add are all cooking. And now we're going to make a roux, which is going to tighten up this soup. So we added some flour. And I just want to cook this flour with the onion and the drippings just for a minute or so. We don't want a flour taste, is what we're all about here. You want to tighten the soup. But cook any of the flour taste out of this roux. All right, that looks perfect without burning it, so you need to be careful. All right, so that's done, looks perfect. Now we're going to just start dumping the rest of the ingredients into our slow cooker, and I'm all about the word dump. Don't you love that word? Just don't like to get dumped, but I do like to do the dumping when it comes to throwing things together real quick in my slow cooker. So we're starting with some potatoes, peeled diced potatoes. Now you could certainly peel and dice and boil your own potatoes, but why would you? Because that's so much work. I love using just frozen cube or southern style potatoes that I just keep on hand in my freezer in bags. I like to buy the resealable bags, or if not, just, you know, take out what you need and seal it up with a twist tie. But we're going to dump a few cups of frozen potatoes. You don't even need to let them thaw, right in there. Now we've got our sweet corn. This is 3 to 4 cups of fresh or frozen sweet corn. Now we've got this roux, the flour and the onion. Just going to tighten the soup a little bit. We've got some chicken, or you could do vegetable stock. We're adding in our bacon. This just keeps getting better and better, doesn't it? And our pepper. And we'll do a little bit of scallion too. And then 1 can of cream of celery soup, and that's also going to help give this some flavor and bind it all together. Cream of chicken soup would also work. All right. I'm going to find a big spoon. There it is. I just want to stir to combine, get everything all mixed together. I've got some scallion here. Some of that we're going to garnish the top of the soup with, but we'll throw a little bit in here too. Both the greens and the whites. Some of that in there. A little bit of salt and pepper. Stir it up really well. And then we put the lid on this guy and let it do its thing. It's going to cook for a few hours while you're out doing your thing. That's why I love my slow cooker, is because you don't have to be, you know, babysitting it and just hanging out with it all day. And we have some right here, and I want to move it over a little closer. And wow, it smells just amazing. Now the last half hour, just before you're ready to serve it, is when you want to add some heavy cream. And it just depends on how thick and chunky you want it. But see, that roux kind of brings it all together. And the potatoes and the onions and the bacon and the peppers have been cooking. The scallions in there. How good does this look? I mean, wow. Looks really, really good to me, that's for sure. I just want to dive right in. Greg, you're ready too? Me too. Oof. This is one of my favorites, and the fact that you can do it in a slow cooker. It's just rich and wonderful, all those great flavors of summer. Never be afraid when you're, you know, plating up the soup to take a clean, wet rag. This is what they do in the kitchens at many of the restaurants that you go to, the chefs do, just to wipe that up. A little bit of scallions on the top for garnish. And there you go. Corn chowder in the slow cooker. It is fantastic. Recipes on the website. You can also pick it up at any area festival.